What I'm about to tell you happened to me. Me, this same me that you see.
It was 300 level. Covenant University. For those of you who didn't go to CU, let me explain the environment briefly so you can understand the full context of this story. In that environment, it's rules on top of rules on top of rules. Lights out at a certain time, compulsory chapel, dress code, no boys in the female hostel, no girls in the male hostel. They will catch you and your parents will receive a letter that will make your father's blood pressure spike. Very controlled environment. So imagine, in the middle of all this holy atmosphere, a man, not a student, a working man, starts showing up on weekends to see me. His name was Tobiloba Justin. Toby was not a small boy. He had graduated 2 years before from another school. He was already working in tech in Lagos. I met him at a tech exhibition event and we became fast friends. He started toasting me in 300 level. For those of you who don't understand Nigerian university toasting dynamics, let me explain. When a man is toasting you in school, there are levels. There is the send you credit at midnight level. There is the wait outside your faculty to walk you to the cafeteria level. And then, the highest level, reserved only for the most serious and most financially capable suitors. There is the drive from Lagos to the university on a Saturday morning to take you to a proper restaurant level. Toby was operating on level 3 from day one. Girls on my floor were, and I'm not exaggerating, suffering. Because I was the one being called downstairs. I was the one that a full man with a car came to pick up every weekend. My course mates had boyfriends who were borrowing their data, and I had a man who was sending me money and asking if I needed anything else. Was I serious with God at that time? Was I paying attention in church? No, I was not. I was distracted and I was very happy about it. Now, before I continue, I need to introduce the second character in this story. Because without understanding her you cannot fully appreciate the level of wickedness that was perpetrated against me. Her name was Blessing. Blessing was my roommate from 100 level. We had been placed together randomly by the school and within 2 weeks we were inseparable. She was from Rivers State, she was quiet, she was brilliant, and she was, and I cannot stress this enough, the most aggressively, comprehensively, professionally holy person I had ever encountered in my entire 21 years of life on this earth. Let me describe Blessing's spiritual schedule for you so you understand. Morning devotion, 5 a.m. Not 5:30, not 5:15. 5 o'clock. In the morning. She would wake up, kneel beside her bed, and begin. I was in the same room. I was sleeping. She did not care. She was talking to God and God was her priority. She didn't watch secular movies. She didn't listen to secular music. When I was playing my music she would quickly pick up her Bible to read. Although she never complained, I felt like she judged me sometimes. She wore skirts below the knee every single day. Every day. She had a collection of long skirts that she rotated with the discipline of someone who had a whole system. She matched them with flat shoes and modest blouses, and she always looked neat and unproblematic and completely without controversy. She attended Wednesday Bible study. She attended Sunday morning service. She attended Sunday evening service. If there was a special program, a revival, a prayer night, a guest minister, Blessing was there. Front row. Bible open. Ready. People in our hostel used to come to Blessing for prayer. Strangers. Girls she had never met would knock on our door and say they had heard there was a prayer warrior on this floor and could she please pray for their exam. Blessing would let them in, sit them down, and pray for them. I, her roommate, benefited from this. She prayed for me regularly. She prayed for my family. She would randomly tell me she had been praying for my mother's health or my father's business and I would just feel so loved and so covered. Blessing was my person. If you asked me in 300 level to name one human being on earth I trusted completely, she would have been one of them. So I'm dating Toby. Things are going beautifully. He is calling, he is showing up, he is doing everything right. I am happy in a way that is almost suspicious, but I'm 21 years old so I'm not suspicious, I'm just happy. Then one evening Blessing sits me down. She has her serious face on. She sits across from me on her bed and she holds my hands and she says, "I need to talk to you about Toby." She tells me that she has been praying and that God has been speaking to her about my relationship. She says she has seen something in the spirit. She says there is darkness around Toby. That he is not who he appears to be. That he will hurt me deeply if I stay with him, and she is begging me, as my sister and as someone who loves me, to please leave this relationship before it is too late. I want you to understand the weight of this moment. This is not a random girl giving me relationship advice. This is blessing. 5 a.m. devotion blessing. Front row Sunday service blessing. People come from other floors for prayer. When this woman tells you she has seen something in the spirit, you do not dismiss it. You tremble. I was shaken. I called and confronted Toby. Toby laughed. He said, and listen to this man, listen. He said Blessing probably liked him and that she was jealous. He said girls like that, the overly religious ones, they usually have something going on beneath the surface. And I want you to understand that I was 21 years old and I was in love and my brain was not fully developed.
Look at this dude.
I dismissed what Toby said about her completely. Because this was Blessing. Not possible. Absolutely not Blessing. I didn't even entertain it for 1 second. I pulled back from Toby a little. I was a bit confused, but I didn't leave. Because I loved him. And because at 21 years old, your heart makes most of your decisions and your head is just there for decoration. Final year. Toby comes to me with big news. He has been offered a position with a company in Canada. He's going. But here is the thing, and this is the part where I want you to understand why I was so invested. He tells me he is not leaving me. He says, I'm going ahead. But I'm waiting for you. Finish your degree, come and meet me, and we will build our life there. He said he would sort out my visa. He said he would handle everything. All I had to do was finish my final year, which I had 1 semester left of, fly to Canada, and begin. I was not mentally present for any of my classes after that conversation. I was in Canada in my head. I had already decided what winter coat I was buying. I had looked up areas in Toronto. I was cooked. I was completely and totally cooked. I told Blessing the news. She hugged me. She said she would pray that God's will be done. My dear, I did not notice anything strange about that sentence at the time. I filed it under blessing being blessing, always surrendering to God's will. I hugged her back. I told her she was my best friend. She said I was hers. She was sleeping with my boyfriend. She had been sleeping with my boyfriend. 2 weeks before my last paper. I am in the library. I forgot a textbook, a very specific textbook that I needed for whatever I was studying. I don't even remember what course it was because this event has erased everything adjacent to it from my memory. I pack my bags, I walk back to the hostel, I climb the stairs to our floor. Our door is locked from inside. Which was strange. Because Blessing never locked the door from inside unless she was changing or sleeping. It was afternoon. She wasn't sleeping. And she definitely would have told me if she had invited anyone over because we were that kind of roommates.
Look at this dude.
We told each other everything. Or so I believed. I knocked. Silence first. Then shuffling, the specific kind of shuffling that a room makes when people inside it are trying to become innocent before a door opens. If you have ever lived in a hostel, you know this sound. I knew this sound. My brain registered this sound and sent up a small flare, but I ignored it because it was Blessing's room and the flare didn't make sense. A long pause. Then the door opened. Blessing. In her robe. I looked past her, because something in my body told me to look, and there on her bed, shirt halfway on, doing up his buttons, was Tobiloba. I stood in that doorway. I have tried many times to describe what happened to my brain in that moment, and the best I can do is this. It was like when your laptop freezes. Everything just stopped. No sound, no feeling, no thought. Just a blank screen. Loading. 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 Blessing opened her mouth. And this woman of God, this 5 a.m. prayer warrior, this person who people came from other floors to receive intercession from, this woman looked at me and said, "It's not what you think. We were just praying together." Praying together. I looked at her robe. I looked at his shirt, halfway on, buttons in the wrong holes because he had rushed. I looked at her Bible, which was on the desk, closed, not open, nowhere near either of them. And she said they were praying together. I cannot explain to you, I have never been able to explain, how a human being looks another human being in the eye after what she had done and says that. The confidence of it. The sheer, undecorated confidence. She didn't even go for "we were just talking" or "it's complicated." She went straight to "we were praying." Toby started talking. He said it was a mistake, it had only happened twice, he still loved me, he still wanted me to come to Canada, everything was still the plan. Twice. He specified twice. Like twice made it smaller. I want to tell you what the actual number was, because Toby was a liar in addition to everything else. A girl on our floor, I will call her Chisholm because she deserves a name in this story for what she did for me. She was the only honest person in this entire situation. Chisholm pulled me aside 3 days later and told me what she knew. 6 months. Not twice. 6 months. Starting from around the time Blessing sat me down and told me she had seen darkness around Toby in the spirit. 6 months of my roommate coming back to our shared room, getting into the bed 2 feet away from mine, and knowing what she knew. I have thought about this many times. And the part that gets me, the part that I genuinely cannot put down no matter how many years pass, is the prayer. Because it didn't seem like she was faking the prayer. Blessing was genuinely spiritual. She genuinely believed in what she was doing every morning. And somehow she had built a compartment in herself where the prayer could be real and the betrayal could also be real, and neither one touched the other. That is not ordinary wickedness. That requires a special kind of interior architecture. I didn't write my exam that semester. I tried. I sat at my desk 2 days after and opened my textbook and stared at it for 40 minutes, and then I closed it and packed a bag and called my mother and said I was coming home. My mother asked what happened. I told her I wasn't feeling well. I was not technically lying. I went home to Lagos, I got into my bed, and I didn't get out for 2 weeks. Not for food, not for church, not for anything. My mother brought food to my room and watched me with worried eyes, and I told her I was just tired, final year stress. She prayed for me every morning outside my bedroom door. I had deferred my exam. I would write it the following semester. I would finish my degree. I would be okay. But Canada was gone. I didn't call Toby. I didn't respond to his messages. After about 3 weeks he stopped sending them, which told me everything I needed to know about how much he had actually been waiting for me. And here is the part of the story that made me finally decide to talk about this publicly, because I have been eating it alone for too long. Toby is in Canada. He is fine. He is doing well, based on what I have gathered without actively looking, because God knows I have better things to do. He has a girlfriend, a woman he works with. And Blessing. Blessing is engaged. Her introduction is next month. And her fiancé, I want you to receive this information calmly. I want you to breathe and take it in. Her fiancé is a pastor. A pastor. The woman who told me she had seen darkness around a man in the spirit while she was sleeping with that same man in our shared room is engaged to a man of God. I have looked at this situation from many angles. I have prayed about it. I have journaled about it. I have discussed it with nobody because I haven't told anyone the full story until right now. And the conclusion I keep arriving at is this. God's sense of humor is advanced. And the grace he extends to certain people is truly something I cannot comprehend from where I'm standing.
I am fine. I want to make sure you hear that. I finished my degree, I got a good job, I moved to Abuja, I have my own apartment, I have peace. I have a life that I like, and I think about how you truly cannot verify what is happening inside a person. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you. Drop a comment and tell me, what would you have done?